Imagine standing on the bank with your favorite rod in hand, ready for an incredible day on the water, only to watch hour after hour slip by with almost no action. You cast your trusted lure again and again, feeling the familiar rhythm of the retrieve, yet the fish simply refuse to commit. They might follow for a moment, then turn away at the last second, leaving you frustrated and wondering what went wrong. This scenario happens to every angler at some point, because most standard lures, while looking appealing to human eyes, often appear ordinary and repetitive underwater. Fish encounter countless artificial baits throughout the season, and over time, they become highly conditioned to ignore patterns that once triggered aggressive strikes. The constant exposure to the same shapes, colors, and movements teaches them to recognize these offerings as non-threatening or even dangerous. Instead of an easy meal, the lure registers as something to inspect cautiously or avoid entirely. You burn through water, changing lures and adjusting retrieves, yet the results remain disappointing. The core issue lies not in your equipment or technique, but in the lack of that final, irresistible trigger needed to convert a curious follow into a solid hookup. Without something extra to break through their learned caution, even the best lures lose effectiveness, especially when fishing pressure increases and fish grow wiser. This conditioning explains why days that should produce limits end in skunkings, while other anglers nearby seem to land fish after fish. The solution requires no major overhaul of your tackle box or complete change in strategy. It demands only one small addition that transforms any ordinary lure into a high-impact presentation capable of triggering explosive reactions in minutes. By addressing this hidden weakness directly, you regain the edge and turn slow days into memorable catches filled with powerful strikes and bent rods. The difference comes down to understanding how fish perceive their environment and exploiting that perception with a simple enhancement that mimics the natural signals of vulnerable prey. Once you introduce this element, the entire game shifts in your favor, and the water comes alive with opportunities that were previously invisible. Fish possess remarkable instincts, honed by survival in a world where every shadow or flash could signal danger or dinner. When a lure enters their domain, they evaluate it quickly based on movement, appearance, and subtle cues that indicate whether it is real prey or merely an imitation. Over repeated encounters with similar baits, they develop a form of learned behavior that makes them increasingly selective and hesitant. What once provoked an immediate charge now elicits only a tentative approach or complete indifference. This conditioning grows stronger in waters where angling activity remains steady, because each hooked and released fish reinforces the association between the lure and negative consequences. The result is a population that appears finicky or off the bite, even when conditions seem perfect for feeding. You might watch fish swirl behind your offering or bump it lightly without committing fully, leaving you to question your retrieve speed or color choice. In reality, the lure lacks the dynamic element that breaks through their caution and reignites their predatory drive. The missing piece is an unpredictable flash or shimmer that replicates the glint of scales on an injured baitfish struggling to escape. Such random light reflections create an erratic signal that travels through the water column, grabbing attention from greater distances and in various light conditions. Without this visual trigger, many presentations blend into the background, becoming just another familiar object the fish have learned to disregard. Adding that single component introduces novelty and urgency, making the lure stand out as something worth attacking rather than inspecting. It exploits the natural response fish have to sudden bursts of light that mimic vulnerable prey, and it works across different species and lure types. The beauty lies in its simplicity, because the enhancement requires minimal effort, yet delivers maximum impact by overriding the conditioned reluctance that plagues so many fishing days. Once the flash element is present, follows turn into strikes, and tentative bumps become full, aggressive takes that nearly rip the rod from your hands. This approach levels the playing field against educated fish and restores the excitement that keeps anglers returning to the water time after time. The one essential addition that changes everything is a small strip of reflective flash material carefully attached to your lure. This thin, iridescent tape or tinsel catches and scatters light in unpredictable patterns, creating a living shimmer that ordinary painted or molded surfaces cannot replicate. As the lure moves through the water, the flash element flutters and spins, sending bursts of brightness in multiple directions that imitate the reflective scales of a fleeing or wounded baitfish. Fish detect these sudden glints from afar, and the erratic quality of the light triggers an instinctive reaction that bypasses their usual caution. The material remains lightweight and flexible, so it adds subtle extra movement and vibration without altering the lure's original action or balance. You can apply it to virtually any presentation, including crankbaits, where a strip under the lip adds side-to-side flicker, spinnerbaits, where it blends into the skirt for enhanced thump, or soft plastics, where a belly strip brings new life to slow drags and hops. Even spoons and jigs gain tremendous appeal when the flash trails or attaches along the body. The application takes only seconds, using scissors and a drop of glue, or a simple tie to secure the strip so it moves freely yet stays firmly in place. Trim the length to avoid excess bulk, ensuring the flash looks natural and tantalizing rather than overpowering. Different finishes, such as silver for bright conditions or gold and chartreuse for stained water, allow fine-tuning to match the environment while keeping the core effect consistent. This single modification revitalizes old lures, making them perform like brand new high-dollar baits without the expense. The reflective properties work particularly well when sunlight penetrates the water or when ambient light creates contrast, turning a standard retrieve into a high-visibility attraction that demands attention. Fish respond with increased aggression because the flash provides that final visual cue of vulnerability they cannot resist. By incorporating this element, you instantly multiply your chances of converting follows into hookups and transform average fishing sessions into outstanding ones filled with memorable catches. Applying the reflective flash material to any lure is remarkably straightforward and takes less than 60 seconds once you understand the simple process. Begin by selecting a small piece of high-quality flash tape or tinsel and using sharp scissors to cut a narrow strip approximately 1 to 2 inches in length, depending on the size of the lure you plan to enhance. The width should remain slim to ensure natural movement without adding unnecessary bulk that could affect the lure's action or sink rate. Next, identify the optimal attachment point, where the flash will create maximum visual impact while staying securely in place during repeated casts and retrieves. For crankbaits, a thin strip positioned just beneath the diving lip produces an enticing side-to-side flicker that complements the built-in wobble. On spinnerbaits or jigs, the flash integrates beautifully when tied directly into the skirt or collar area, where it adds extra sparkle and vibration as the blades turn. Soft plastic baits benefit from a strip glued along the belly or inserted into a small slit near the tail, creating a tantalizing trail that mimics escaping scales during hops and drags. Spoons and inline spinners gain tremendous appeal when the material is attached along the body or allowed to trail behind like a miniature banner. Secure the strip using a tiny drop of waterproof superglue or by carefully melting the end with a lighter to form a small anchor point that prevents slippage. Press the flash firmly into position and hold it for a few seconds until the bond sets completely. Finally, trim any excess length with scissors so the material flutters freely but does not extend too far beyond the lure's profile. The goal is to achieve a subtle yet highly visible shimmer that looks alive rather than artificial. Test the modified lure in the water or by giving it a few quick twitches to confirm that the flash moves naturally and does not interfere with the original swimming action. Once properly attached, the enhancement remains durable through multiple trips and can be refreshed or replaced in moments whenever needed. This quick modification requires no special tools beyond basic items already found in most tackle boxes, and it instantly transforms ordinary lures into high-performance attractors, capable of triggering strikes from even the most cautious fish. With practice, the entire procedure becomes second nature, allowing you to upgrade multiple baits in minutes before heading out for the day. The true power of the reflective flash addition becomes evident the moment you cast the modified lure and observe the dramatic difference in fish behavior. Without the flash, a standard presentation often results in tentative follows, where fish trail behind the bait for several feet before losing interest and turning away at the last instant. The same lure, equipped with the shimmering strip, however, produces immediate and aggressive reactions that frequently end in solid hookups. In clear conditions, the random bursts of light travel through the water column, drawing attention from greater distances and prompting fish to accelerate toward the target with sudden bursts of speed. Even in stained or low-light water, the subtle vibration and occasional glints provide just enough contrast to break through the fish's caution and convert curiosity into commitment. During one session, the unmodified crankbait elicited only light bumps and short strikes, while the identical model with flash added generated explosive topwater explosions and powerful runs that nearly emptied the spool on multiple occasions. Side-by-side testing in the same area and under identical conditions revealed a consistent pattern, where the enhanced lure accounted for more than 3 times as many landed fish within the first hour. The flash seems to trigger an instinctive response that mimics the distress signals of injured prey, causing even previously inactive fish to suddenly become aggressive feeders. Larger specimens, in particular, appear especially susceptible to the visual cue, as they position themselves higher in the water column to investigate the erratic shimmer. The difference is most pronounced when fishing pressured waters, where standard lures receive little attention, yet the flash-equipped versions continue to produce steady action throughout the day. Fish that once followed at a safe distance now commit fully, often striking within the first few feet of the retrieve, and resulting in bent rods and screaming drags. This transformation occurs rapidly, often within minutes of making the simple modification, confirming that the single addition effectively overrides learned avoidance behaviors and reignites predatory instincts across various species and lure types. The increased hookup ratio turns slow, unproductive periods into exciting stretches filled with continuous action and memorable battles that keep the adrenaline flowing from dawn until dusk. Mastering the reflective flash technique opens up numerous possibilities for refining your approach and maximizing results across different fishing scenarios. Experiment with various colors and lengths of material to match specific water clarities and light conditions, with silver and gold proving highly effective in bright sunny environments, while chartreuse and brighter hues perform better in murky or overcast situations. Keep the strips relatively short and sparse to maintain a natural appearance, avoiding the temptation to overload the lure, which can sometimes reduce its effectiveness. Combining the flash with a touch of scent or a small rattle creates an even more complete presentation that appeals to multiple senses simultaneously, increasing your chances of success when fish are particularly selective. Always carry extra flash tape in your tackle box so you can quickly upgrade additional lures throughout the day as conditions change or when targeting different species. The modification works exceptionally well on your top 3 favorite baits, allowing you to breathe new life into trusted patterns without purchasing expensive replacements. Pay close attention to how the flash interacts with each lure's unique action, and make minor adjustments to placement until you achieve the ideal balance of movement and visibility. Once you witness the dramatic improvement in strike rates, you will likely find yourself applying the technique to nearly every lure in your collection. Before heading out, the simplicity and affordability of this enhancement make it accessible to anglers of all skill levels, while delivering professional-level results that dramatically improve catch rates in challenging conditions. As you incorporate the flash into your regular routine, you will develop an intuitive sense for when and where it produces the greatest impact, transforming ordinary fishing trips into consistently productive adventures, filled with exciting strikes and impressive catches. The technique requires minimal investment, yet offers maximum return, making it one of the most valuable upgrades you can add to your fishing arsenal. With practice and observation, you will soon recognize the telltale signs of fish responding to the added shimmer and adjust your presentation accordingly to capitalize on every opportunity the water presents.